Hey, it's time for challenge number 2. The last challenge we did was all about a pop song based on a loop. So I've decided to flip that on its head and create actually a song which has got loads of different styles. So mixing Latin, funk, gospel, jazz, all these different styles to create a song which hopefully is still a pop song and still something that's good to listen to. So I'm about to Zoom the guys and see what they think. So I've got a friend from Brazil and he keeps sending me these incredible videos of like sambas, nylon acoustic stuff, some really cool styles. And I was thinking what we could do is create a song, but just putting in loads of really cool styles. And I thought we could kind of have a Latin theme, but within that, add other bits and pieces.
I've got some bongos and some shakers and some...
No, hang on. Why don't you... Okay, let's make it more interesting. Why don't you play all the percussion on random stuff that you've got laying around in your studio?
Yeah.
Not actually proper percussion. Anything that you find, but it has to not be percussion. We don't want any real percussion on this.
So we're talking kind of primary school percussion time.
Okay, so we're getting there. So we've got the challenge. So it's got to be genre fluid. It's got to move through genres. Yeah.
Fluid, yeah.
And we're going to have a bit of the nylon thing. So it's a nylon guitar on a nylon style song.
I kind of what other styles?
Quite edgy, you know, like with some maybe some riffs in it, and thinking kind of like, I don't know, Screaming Headless Torsos if they're a Latin band or something like that.
Right. Okay. So funky, bit of sort of disco vibe, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And probably because it's like a Latin, we could just have it over like a 2/5 chord kind of classic Latin vamp,
which isn't.
Right, let's crack on. Here's the intro. And the intro section is a samba, which normally you would play something like. So it's an A minor and a D7. We're trying to mix some styles, so this intro needs to be really hard hitting. It needs to really wake you up and be a little bit like drinking orange juice just after you've cleaned your teeth. So let's come up with a bit of a riff. And so decided to go root third and then root third of the 2 chords. And then come back third root, third root. Latino rock and rollio, I'd say. And that's the intro, and that's how that came about, which is really simple, right? So Craig, that's a pretty cool samba groove. How did you come up with that? What is that?
I played the dotted 8th note pattern on the bass drum with the hi-hat playing the ands of every beat. And then over the top of that, my hands, I came up with an accented 16th note groove, playing the 2 and 4 on the floor tom and a little roll at the end there. So this sounds like this. And putting those both together should sound like this.
If you could think about like lyrics and top line, that kind of thing.
So Jimmy wants a song that is a mix of styles. So got a little idea to call it genre neutral. So it kind of floats between genres. So it isn't of any fixed, particular fixed genre. So got a few little ideas for lyrics and for kind of things that are happening with it. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working at it and see if I can get something together. But I'm quite pleased. Sounding good. Some pigeon people pick up a fair hole and poke their heads out now and then, but are they in control? Do they really know what I should like? Should we all be listening or getting on our bikes?
John has just written a belter of a song, which is so fitting for this challenge. It's very, very cool. So we've had the big hard-hitting intro. Let's kind of bring it down to this more kind of samba-y thing that we talked about and see what we can come up with.
2 chord A minor, 7 to D9, samba type idea, kind of a. But then I thought that might be a bit too busy, because I know that Craig is like doing a percussive thing.
You might want to just hold that thought, John, because this is what is currently going on at Craig's studio.
Hold on, I'm just taking the lid off my bin. There we go. Right, look.
I'll do what?
My bin. I've got a bin here. Look. Check this out. What do you think of that?
Yeah, brilliant.
It stinks, this bin. Right, hold on. Next idea. Hold on.
So we might just trip each other up, maybe. But that's quite a nice idea. So I might record that anyway and see if that does anything. See if that makes it through the cut.
Right. How about a Kenko coffee beans? From £6.50 to £1.59. 94 cups in there. Not much left though, to be fair. You still there? I've got a water bottle. Hold on, let me have a drink.
A water bottle?
Yeah. And a...
That'd be a bit quiet, wouldn't it?
No, this will be alright. Watch this. And a spoon. Ready?
The shaker?
No. Check this out.
Yeah, that's definitely...
Rubbish.
Or I've got this other idea, which is really simple. It's sort of like a just really nice, little easy, because everything then can sit nicely on top of that. It's kind of got a nice load of space, so we can then use that as like a pad maybe for everything else to kind of, like a sofa, like a musical sofa.
I'm a genre neutral kind of guy. I like all kinds of everything. I can never work out why. So
Intro and verse 1 are going really well, but now we've hit a bit of a snag.
Hello, mate.
Hey bud, how you doing? I got your guitar parts that you sent over. Have you changed the way that you've recorded them?
No, it's all, from my end, exactly the same as I always have done that stuff.
I've just phoned John to tell him that his guitar parts didn't sound as good as they normally did. Actually, it was me. It was my interface has started to go downhill. I've had it for about 10 years. It's been brilliant. And I just didn't think that it would be me. It wouldn't be my fault.
Hello, mate.
Phoning to apologise.
Right, okay. So you think that everything is all right, but that's playing up. Oh, that doesn't sound great, though, mate.
Yes.
That sounds expensive.
Yeah, it does. I tried to put some drums through some outboard stuff, and it all. I realised there were some issues, and it wasn't Craig's fault, which is a first.
Hold on. You still there?
Ta-da! The new interface is here, and it looks really good. It's had some great reviews. It's got some great features, so really excited about getting it plumbed in. I've just got to deal with the patch bay now and loads of cables, which is a bit of a nightmare. Right, so which hole does this one go in? So the studio's up and running, everything's in place, and everything's working brilliantly. So now it's time to get back on with the challenge.
I've got a little chorus idea playing around with. Something like this, like a 4-chord thing. Which I think might work. I think it might work quite well. It's kind of like... So it's got quite a nice kind of little vibe about it, I think. Happy to dig anything, I'm happy to be free. I'm happy to dig anything, happy being me.
happy to dig anything. I'm happy to be free. I'm happy to dig everything. I'm happy being me.
How about a songo groove? Can we do something with a songo?
In the second verse is a songo section where in a songo, so in a samba, you feel it like boom, ba-boom, boom, ba-boom, 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 and that's the groove. In a songo, you feel it differently. It's sort of like the first part of a clave, like a ba, 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 that section, but with the first note taken off. So you've got like ba, 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 ba. and that's the groove. And traditionally this would be played over loads of different percussion instruments and that kind of thing.
But what we found was that was a little bit too busy. I simplified the beat a little bit, playing the snare drum on beat 1, kept the bass drum with the bass guitar, and then played some 16th notes on the hi-hat. Sounds like this.
I'm a genre neutral kind of chap. I got no beef with anything. I like to shoot the crap. Some pigeon people pick a perfect way. Like should they follow?
You get the idea. And so it's built up the same way as the kind of intro. Whoa, stop. I clearly heard a triangle there. So before we go any further, I just need to explain how that came about.
I'll tell you what then, Jim.
Yeah.
You got to play a bit of percussion as well. I tell you what, a triangle.
So yeah, I was challenged by Craig to learn how to play the triangle, and to play Latin triangle is really difficult. So I checked out this guy, Christopher Dean, who's got some serious triangle swagger, to see if I could learn anything from him. So I wasn't really connecting too well with Christopher and his methods. I tried this guy. He had a bit more of a Latin background, so I kind of connected with him. Not because I have a Latin background, because I'm from Lowestoft, so I need all the help I can get to understand how to make this instrument groove. But this guy's my guy. This is my guy. He just...
And then you can mute the
gets
triangle with your palm and
connection.
fingers.
Ah, this is what I need to learn.
You can also try playing the triangle with your index finger, resting on your index finger.
What?
And then using your fingers to mute the triangle this way.
So after quite a bit of practice, I managed to kind of raise my triangle game. I was pretty happy with the result.
I think that might work quite well.
Then the third verse, I was trying to come up with something a bit more funky, because we want that to be a bit more funk and Latin kind of thing. So I was thinking of things I could do over those 2 chords. And I was playing around with things like this. And that's all right, but it didn't really fit that well. And I kind of stopped and just listened to the groove, felt the groove. And there's that kind of, I suppose, kind of funky, kind of jacko-y kind of thing came out that I was hearing in my head, which is like a...
Dancing to the groove, I dance away. Cause I'm dancing at 10,000 steps a day. Cause I'm happy to dig anything, I'm happy to be free.
And so that seemed to be a much better line, seemed to kind of feel a bit better than the other stuff that was too complicated, really. So we're doing all right. We've got an intro which is a samba with kind of a riff. We've got a first verse which is like a more traditional kind of samba.
I'm a genre neutral kind of guy.
We've got a chorus which is kind of disco-y, funky, acid jazzy.
Dig anything, I'm happy to be free. I'm happy to dig everything, I'm happy being me.
Verse 2 is a simplified songo with a aggressive kind of riff over it, and actually some pretty wicked triangle playing.
I'm a genre neutral kind of chap. I got no beef with anything, I like to shoot the crap. Some pigeon people.
Third verse is kind of like a funky kind of thing.
Dancing to the groove, I dance away.
We're now just left with the outro, and I've got some pretty interesting ideas for this. Maybe finish with like a kind of big, happy, clappy kind of funky, no, like gospel-y kind of outro.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm loving the sound.
You think the 3 of us can pull that off?
Well,
I think that might work quite well.
So then we've got the outro, which, like the verses, is just a 2-bar vamp, and I'm just running up to each chord, like a classic kind of gospel. kind of vibe.
What I'm also going to do, because I need to do a guitar solo, rock out the distortion. Maybe.
Oh, mate, that was absolutely incredible. Mate, that's seriously good.
Maybe. Maybe.
Mate, that's absolutely ridiculous. Just find one to stick with it, because they're all ridiculous.
Maybe. Don't know. Who knows?
So, boys, we did it. Well done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, really
I was,
pleased. It's sounding good.
Yeah,
That was good.
I was quite surprised, and I actually really enjoyed it. So the track is now available on iTunes, and if you like this video, as always, subscribe and like and share and everything else. Please comment below if there's anything that you would like to see us do in the future. Any other ideas? That would be great.
Cool. Good stuff.
Hit the button or whatever you're supposed to do.